What's up guys, Jeffrey Verity Schofield here. So today we're talking about Myo Reps, and these are actually my favorite muscle building technique. They are absolutely wonderful. Every time I add these into my program, I see very visible results very quickly, and they're a very time efficient way to make some quick gains. So if you want quick results, these are a really good system. So first we have to talk about a little bit of physiology. This might not be your favorite topic, but it is really important for understanding why Myo Reps work. So there's something called the Henneman's size principle. So this is the idea that you don't recruit all of your muscle fibers under most conditions. So if you're just walking down the street, you're not recruiting all of your leg muscles. Your body is recruiting just enough to get the job done. If you are running faster than last time, you are going to recruit more muscle fibers. If you are sprinting, you're going to recruit even more. And so the intensity of the exercise, the tension across the muscle, the loading is going to be what recruits more muscle fibers, more what are called motor units. So how do you recruit more motor units? If you don't recruit a muscle, you cannot fatigue a muscle. And if you don't fatigue a muscle, you cannot grow a muscle. So you need to recruit a muscle for it to grow. Pretty simple, right? So you can recruit maximum muscle fibers in a few different ways. First, you can lift heavy weights. So if you're lifting some heavy ass weight, then you're going to be recruiting all of those motor units. So if you're lifting above around 80% of your 1 rep max, all of those reps are going to be effective reps that recruit all of the muscle fibers. So if your 1 rep max on bench press is 100 kilos and you're lifting 90 or 85 or 80, all of those reps are going to be what are called effective reps because they're recruiting all of the potential muscle fibers. You can also lift lighter weights explosively. And so what this does is you are lifting this weight as quickly as possible. And what this does is it actually recruits all of the muscle fibers, but it only recruits them in a certain position of the range of motion. So if you are bench pressing, for example, you might recruit maximum muscle fibers in the bottom position, but as you press the weight, you have a lot of momentum, and thus you don't actually need to recruit all of your muscle fibers in your arms, in your chest, in your shoulders, etc. So your body will actually limit the recruitment of that higher range of motion. So you'll only get a lot of muscle fiber recruitment in that bottom position, which is not going to be optimal for growth. Another thing you can do, which is what Myo Reps uses, is fatigue. If you use a light or a moderate weight and you go to failure, this can actually recruit all of your muscle fibers. So when you're starting out, the set is pretty easy. You're only recruiting those slow twitch fibers that aren't really going to be as powerful. But as you develop fatigue, as you get lactic acid into the muscle, you're actually going to recruit more and more and more of those muscle fibers. And those last 3, 4, 5 reps, maybe 6 reps, that are really slow, really agonizing, everything is burning, searing, you're pushing as hard as you can, but the bar isn't moving very quickly, those are going to be effective reps. So if you take a set to failure, let's say 20 reps, that is going to be maybe 4 or 5 quote-unquote effective reps. Now, this is a lot of wasted reps. You have to do like 15 reps to actually get to this effective rep zone. So it's sort of a waste of time, it's a waste of effort, it's a waste of everything really. If you go to failure, what you can actually do, and this is what Myo Reps is, or other rest pause protocols, what you can actually do, and this is really cool, you can go to failure initially, take a short rest. You're not resting a minute, you're not resting 5 minutes, you're resting about 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds at the very most. So you go to failure, you rest a few seconds, and then you start the set again. It's the same set, it's the same effort, you're just resting in between sets. So let's say you do 20 reps to failure for that first initial starter set, that primer set. You take a few seconds to rest, about 10 seconds, maybe take 3 deep breaths, then you go to failure again. You might get 3 reps, 4 reps, 5 reps, you just go until you hit failure again. It could be 3, could be 4, could be 5, somewhere in that range. Then you take a rest again. You take another 10-second rest. Then you do another mini set. And you repeat this up to a total of 5 times. So it's 20, and then rest, 5 reps, rest, 5 reps, rest, 5 reps, again. So in total, you're doing roughly 45 reps. So 20 plus 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And what this does is that it ensures that all of those reps are actually effective reps. Instead of having to do endless reps in the beginning to get full recruitment, you only have to do that initial set to build up the fatigue. And then you stay in that fatigue zone and you build up the reps. And so you can get a crazy pump, you can get a lot of muscle recruitment, and you can actually get in a lot of volume in a relatively short amount of time. Instead of doing like 3 sets of 20 and getting 15 effective reps, you're doing 1 set of 20 and then a 5x5 tacked on to the end of that, and you're getting 30 effective reps. So it's going to be much more effective from a time efficiency standpoint. So how do I set these up? I would say just 1 set is enough. You don't have to do a bunch of sets of these. Just going to failure and then failure 5 more times. Honestly, that's enough. You don't need to do more. This is more of a lower volume protocol where you're not going to be in the gym for a very long time. In terms of exercise selection, I would say stick to isolation movements or exercises that do not load the spine. So in this video, I did chest supported rows, which keeps the lower back in a safe position. If you're doing bent over rows or Yates rows, honestly, I wouldn't suggest that. I've done it in the past, but it's just too easy to round the back or to cheat and run into issues. Same thing with squats. I've done similar stuff on squats before. It can be very effective, but it's just too easy for your form to break down and for the lower back to get injured. Same thing for deadlifts. I think my best is 140 kilos for 40 reps, and it took like 6 or 7 minutes. And this kind of training is brutal, but it's not really necessary for the squat and the deadlift. You should use more normal methods. You don't have to do this kind of extreme training. But for smaller body parts like arms, shoulders, it can work really well. On machines, you can absolutely do this kind of high intensity protocol. So if you're doing a leg extension, go to failure around 20 reps, 15 reps, 25 reps, somewhere in there, and then just keep pumping out mini sets until you cannot do any more. And this is going to bring a ton of blood to the muscle. This is really going to get you a massive pump, and it is going to recruit a ton of muscle fibers. And that is what really gets you the growth. It's not necessarily the pump, it's the fact that the muscle is fatigued and it is forced to recruit those higher threshold motor units. And you can do this with actually light weight. So you don't have to burn yourself out, destroy your joints. You can use light weight, baby, and get some impressive gains. I'll link an article in the description where it talks about a lot of the details that I didn't really cover in this video. Definitely try it out if you're pressed for time, and even if you're not pressed for time, I think this is a fantastic way to train. It does take a lot of intensity, it does take a lot of effort and courage to keep going during these kind of brutal sets. But if you want to go to the gym for like 30 or 40 minutes and just get in a quick, brutal, highly stimulatory exercise and workout, then definitely give this a shot. Again, this is my favorite muscle building technique, my favorite high intensity technique. If you want to know more, check out my book. I'll link it in the description as well. That is going to have more high intensity techniques which can get you amazing results. All right, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.